Alright, it's the Heir of Carthage, back with another Napoleon Total War Online battle. In this battle, I'll be facing off against my opponent, Nelik, or Nelik, I'm not sure how I want it pronounced. He does have a YouTube channel. You can look in the description of this video to check out his channel. Anyway, I was online, and I always tell people that if you want to play me, just wait for me to get online and then message me there. It's the easiest way to do it, because I don't really know when I'll be online ever. And he messaged me, and the person I was trying to play a game with at the time wasn't responding, so felt like it'd be the perfect time to play against one of the fellow YouTubers who wants to play. I'm playing as Prussia. I have 2 units of Cuirassier and a Brandenburg Ulan and a Lancer unit. And my opponent's cavalry is 1 Emperor's Dragoon and 1 Dutch Guard Lancer. So he has very high quality cavalry, but he only has 2 units, and here he fires in an artillery shot that I believe ends up killing as many of his men as my own. So that was probably just a mistake on his part. I'm sure he didn't mean to artillery his own men, but it worked out for me. And here I've sandwiched his Dutch Guard Lancers, which is good because they have fantastic stats. In fact, I love Dutch Guard Lancers. They're an excellent unit. They've got all the charge of a Lancer, but good morale like Guard Cavalry, and they're not fat and slow like Heavy Cavalry. So, Dutch Guard Lancers, and you can see even sandwiched, these guys put up one heck of a fight, and they darn near rout my Brandenburg Ulans, which is a pretty darn good unit. But the Dutch Guard Lancers are far superior to my Brandenburg Ulans. And here, my fat and lazy Cuirassier might finally make it to the battle before it's over. This is why I hate Heavy Cavalry. I rarely use them, just because, I mean, they're just ridiculously slow. But anyway, I was able to outmaneuver his cavalry due to my numbers there, and get rid of his cavalry. But now it's time for me to get out of here because he's going to start firing artillery at this blob of cavalry that I'm momentarily forgetting about. So that was a very good move on my opponent's part to take advantage of that. So here it comes. I saw his incoming shells and ran, but not before he got a few of my men. So that was a nice way for him to make the best of that situation. But I am going to run outside of his howitzer range. Let me introduce you to my army. I'm using what I call the typical grassy flatlands army for myself. It's 2 howitzers, 4 units of cavalry, 7 to 8 units of line. Today I have 7 with 6 units of line, 1 foot guard, and my general's bodyguard. My opponent has 3 units of voltigeurs, skirmishers. I have 4 units of Jaegers, so I have him outranged and outnumbered. But he's trying to use his artillery to make up that difference. That was probably a pretty good idea. Alright, on this side, let's see what he has. He has a Fusilier of the line. Here's his 6-inch howitzer. He has 2 of those. He has a general staff. By the way, my general is Count von Giessen, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, I want to say my opponent has 6 Fusilier of the line here, so that makes 7 altogether. Here's his other howitzer. And then on this side, he has 2 old guard and a young guard. Or sorry, 2 young guard and an old guard. So this flank is going to be very deadly, and I'm hoping that he doesn't rush me with this flank, because he could easily collapse my flank with those guard units. So we'll see what happens there. I figure it's best for me to take advantage of this skirmishing situation, and basically I have better numbers and better range, just better skirmishers in general. And so I need to win this skirmishing battle so that I can force a long-range engagement on his line infantry. And at the moment, I'm just praying that he doesn't rush me, because if he does rush me, my only hope will be to use my cavalry to try and slow him down. But like I said, he's got all of his guards on this flank here, and he could easily start collapsing my line if he were to get a good rush on the flank of my army. But now that I have cavalry supremacy, I'm going to try and use my skirmishers to force his army to come forward. So you can see my strategy here is just basically straight up engagement of his skirmishers since I have the number advantage, and I'm using my howitzer to demoralize this unit, and then I'm going to wrap up and flank his other units. So let's fast forward through some of this for the sake of time. Just let you watch this unfold. It took quite a while for this unit of voltigeurs to rout. I was surprised how long they lasted. Definitely fought a brave fight. My howitzers weren't hitting very accurately, which was unfortunate, but eventually they got the job done. Alright, so here you can see that I'm going to start wrapping up his skirmish flank, and this is where I expected my opponent to hurry and charge forward. personally, that's what I would have done, but I'm not going to badmouth my opponent one bit. That's not what I was doing, by the way, because he puts up a fantastic fight, and this battle was a close one all the way till the end, even when I thought it may not be so close at one point. But I'll let you see how it unfolds. Alright, so now that this unit of Voltigeurs is taking flank fire, they're going to start to crumble, but he's continually using his howitzer to pummel this unit of my Jaegers, and they are taking some pretty heavy damage from his howitzers. You can see the shells exploding right over their head there. So here's just a nice steady exchange of skirmish fire. Let's go take a look at his men. His men are also under artillery fire, so not any better for them. And there they are returning fire to my men. His skirmishers actually held out really well. Whenever I play as France, I tend to have bad luck skirmishing. Maybe I'm just not a good skirmisher. Probably not. Anyway, I finally rout his second unit, and I was going to rush in and flank his third unit, but he decides to pull them back. And I think that that's probably a smart move. He has a lot of line infantry, and if he just pulls those men back and waits for the engagement, they can be of help at that time. Now here I'm just repositioning my army, and I'm going to move them forward, and then I'm going to use my skirmisher supremacy now to come up and harass his line infantry from long range. Alright. Anyway, like I said, I'm just fast forwarding to save some recording space here, because this was quite a long battle, and it'll probably end up being in 2 parts on YouTube, but of course, I don't really need to tell you that. You'll see it whenever it pops up there. But we're still in fast forward mode. Let's take a look at these French troops up close, just for fun. Here they are, in the calm before the storm. I think both my men and his men know that it's going to get pretty ugly. And now, my opponent did do some smart deployment here. He's deployed in very long, thin lines, and that's very intelligent to do on the grassy flatlands. On the flatlands, you definitely want to cover as much ground as you can. You don't want to be outflanked. And also, you can take advantage of the fact that there's basically no terrain, and it will allow you to get the maximum amount of fire per volley, since they don't have fire by rank on this game. Alright, so you can see my army slowly moving up now. I've got them repositioned the way I want. I think I accidentally pushed the button wrong or something and got them out of position. And I'm also bringing my cavalry up on this flank. Alright. Alright, here I have some of my skirmishers in position, and I start taking some pot shots at his Fusilier. And this is why I said it was smart of him to keep this unit of Voltigeurs, because he moves them up to be able to return fire on this unit of Jaegers. So that turned out really well for him to pull them back, because now he can use them to help defend his line as best he can. But I definitely have strength in numbers as far as skirmishers are concerned now. Let's fast forward a little more. Yeah, I just wanted to show this whole battle. Sorry if you don't like the fast forwarding. It's just a way for me to make sure that I don't miss anything, because it was a good battle, and I enjoyed it. It's probably the best battle I've had in a long time. Alright, here my opponent got sick of me harassing his line infantry, and so he does about the only thing he can do, which is push his line forward. And in reaction, I pulled my skirmishers back, because remember, my men have 125 range, and his line infantry only have 80 on their range. So I'm going to push this range advantage as much as I can. I want to deplete his units as much as possible before they engage my line. And I wouldn't be all that worried, except for the fact that he has these 3 guard units out here on his right flank. If he didn't have those guard units, I would just push forward and engage his line in a straight-up fight. But if I take too many casualties or start a fight and then he pushes my flank with those guards, I'll be dead meat, and very quickly. Right now, I've pulled my skirmishers all the way back to my line, and I'm going to force his line to come forward and engage me.